Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Real Talk Live with Arnette D. Love and with my assistant, Lisa, my little sister. And y'all remember Sister So-and-so? Welcome, Sister So-and-so. We certainly miss you in the house, baby. So we're glad to make sure that you're still having appearances with us, when you can. We understand everybody gets busy. Okay, y'all. I'm going to be keeping up with your comments and everything. This is not a call-in show today. So please continue to make comments. And so today, and I'm just getting to the page. Today we're going to talk about voting. So I'm going to get Sister So-and-so to go ahead and give y'all her spiel about what she feel about the importance of us voting.
Now, it's very important. I mean, but when you vote, when you go to vote, you need to keep in mind that the people that you vote for, you need to know something about. You don't need to go to the poll and just let somebody give you a piece of paper and say, vote for this person. Because if you know nothing about them, you could be putting the devil in a position to really ruin your life, the life of your children, the livelihood of the whole community and the city of Portsmouth. So we need to know something about these people. And we have today, the rest of today, tomorrow, and some part of the 8th to really get it together and know what's going on in our city with the people we're asking to vote for. Y'all know that a whole lot of people, quite a few people, that was put in office a couple of years ago, and I'm not calling nobody's name or pinpointing no particular group because you already know who they are, then look what's going on. 2 years later, we're still going through the same crap, and some things even worse. Because who would imagine that we have been through so many city managers we've lost in the last 2 years? Chief of police, I mean, some things are going on. The things that people are doing, that they try to hush and keep a secret. We have to be cautious of who we have over our children. So we need to actually think about whom we're voting for. So keep that in mind. And I'm going to tell you right now, I know who I'm voting for. And I'm doing it with a conscious mind because some people would never, ever get my vote. They're going to have to do a lot of changing.
Yeah, let me tell y'all something. I have had so many people back me that are not my friends, my so-called friends. Let me put it that way, so-called friends, because you never know who a true friend is. So, sometimes you have to do that, the quotes, because I know I'm a friend. Don't mean, just because you're a friend, let me put it this way, just because you're a friend doesn't mean someone is a friend to you. Amen. And so I'm not pinpointing anybody, I'm just saying that a lot of people that don't know me have backed me. And the reason why they back me, because I have shown them over the last 2 years that I'm a woman of my word. I have told them that situation that I was in 2020, I wasn't going back to. I did not go back to. And I continuously stand on my own. I continuously stand on my principles. And people saw that. And they were able to say, I know that this person is going to be able to stand on her own when it comes to the children, the staff, and the families of Portsmouth Public School Board, of the Portsmouth Public Schools, should I say. Yeah, I'm not afraid to take a loss. I'm not afraid for people to tell me no. But if you're going to tell me no, you're going to tell me why. And if it's a way that I can get around your no, I promise you I'm going to do it. If I feel that it's for the betterment of the system. And then listen, so many people have been telling me what's going on in the school system. And I understand on the outside we think it's all gravy. It looks like nothing is wrong in the school system. It looks like everybody's jiving and everything is working together. But I'm telling you, when you put people in there and they have to answer to someone else, and a higher power that is not God, you will never know the truth. I promise you, you will never know the truth. I don't answer to anybody but you and God. That's it. Nobody else is going to tell me to keep my mouth shut. So if I find out that there is some validity to what I've been told. It's coming out, and that is what they don't want. I promise you that. That is what they don't want. They do not want me telling you guys what's really going on. But transparency is my thing. You're supposed to know what's happening with the people that you hired. And if they're hiding something from you, there's a problem. There's a problem. Just because there's silence doesn't mean there's not issues going on. And it is the people in the school system that has been telling me what's going on because they want me to know. But one thing about me, I will always make sure I have facts. Always. So I will not say anything allegedly or anything, that I don't know for sure. But I'm telling you why people don't want me on that board, because I am not answering to anybody but the citizens and God.
Not being there, yes, ma'am.
But may I say something before you get to Lisa? See, the thing is parents. I say parents because the majority of the people that's even interested in the school board are the parents, the grandparents, the family members that love their nieces, nephews, so on. So what we need to do as parents and as people that love our children, we need to get more involved and stop allowing people to tell us what's going on. We need to get more involved. We need to make sure that when little Johnny or Mary Sue comes home with a report card, that what the report card says is accurate. That this is actually what they did. I'm going to tell you why. Because my son went to school. First PTA, I go to the PTA meeting. And that's been years ago. So if it was happening then, can you imagine what's happening now? And the teacher saw me. And she says, "Oh, Anthony's mother." I'm looking around for Anthony's mother.
Yeah, it happened.
They had allowed my son to change his name from Robert to Anthony. So I'm looking around. So I say to her, because she came walked up to me because I looked like I was mystified. And she says, "Oh, you're Anthony's mother." I said, "No, I did not give birth to an Anthony." "You talking about him?" She said, "Yes." I said, "Well, his name is Robert Maxwell." She said, "Robert." So she allowed him to go with a nickname for almost a whole semester to the first PTA meeting. And I'm thinking, wow, is he getting Robert's grades, or is he getting grades that belong to somebody named Anthony? So I had to put a stop to that. But I said it to say this. Pay more attention to the people that's over your children. Pay more attention to the people that's running the system that your child is in. Pay more attention. Ask questions. Go to the meetings. Go to the schools. Talk to the people. Don't let, because somebody went to a class and was in there that day. "Oh, I was with class number 7. And they loved me." "Yeah, loved you how? What were you doing? What were you discussing with our children?" I mean, what made you feel like that we needed to know after you did it? If we would have known that you were going, maybe a couple of the parents wanted to be there to see exactly what you're saying to their children. Because what you say to their children matter. What you say to my grandchildren matter to me. So I just wanted to say that we got to get more involved. We have to stop letting people dictate to us about what's going on with our children. We have to have some input. And we have to pick people that's open enough to be able to talk to us, give us information, the right information, let us know what's going on. Because if you have secrets and you're supposed to be over a group of people, then your secrets could be more harmful than beneficial. I just wanted to throw that out there. Thank you, Ms. Love.
And my thing is, being down at City Hall, a lot of people will come up and say, "I just need a Democrat ballot." So my thing is, you want change, and you're putting the same people in those seats, but you're complaining about change. My thing is to do the research, and the person you vote for may not be Democrat. They may be independent. They may be Republican, conservative. We don't know. But you want to do research on that person and not just stick to one particular group of people, because your change will not come if you continue to keep them in the cycle, in the circle.
Well, let me tell y'all something. It's 5 of us running for school board for 4 seats. I am out here running solo. I'm on my own, okay? The other ones were endorsed by an organization where my uncle is the president. Pastor Milton R. Blunt is our uncle, blood, my father's brother. And he supports them. He doesn't support me because he knows that I am not one that's going to be told what to do. He knows I'm not. Because why else wouldn't my uncle support me? And we're not estranged. Well, we're estranged now. We weren't at first. We were close. Everybody thought we were brothers and sisters. That's how close we were. And but he supports them. And I had to pray and pray and pray and pray and ask God to help me forgive him for what he has done to me. And he will walk around and say he hasn't done anything. But anybody worth their grain and salt would know you don't turn on your family. Regardless. You don't turn on your family, because I'm going to tell you something. He could have been the pastor and came out here and robbed several liquor stores, and I would have been in court with him holding his hand. But because he chose to support other people that he don't know, and they really don't care anything about him, it's fine with me, because guess what? I was anchored in the Lord. God kept me moving and kept me pushing and kept me strong. What I'm trying to say is, if I'm able to move forward away from my family, to move and not bow down to somebody applying pressure, that's my family. And an authoritative figure too, because he's my father's brother. You should know that I'm not going to bow down to anybody else. Okay? I will not bow down when it comes to our children, the staff, and the families of Portsmouth Public School. I will not do that. I will not be afraid. I will be a voice. I won't make unnecessary noise, because I'm not an ignorant woman. But when it's time to make noise, I promise you, love will be making some noise. When I see wrong, I promise you, love is going to either try to fix the wrong, ask the person to correct the wrong, or it's going to be put out that there's wrongdoing if we can't rectify it. And so I ask you to trust me. I ask you to watch me. I ask you to give me the next 4 years on the board, and I'll show you what it means to actually care and make decisions for our children. I will show you, because I have no dog in this hunt. I have nothing to gain, nothing to lose. My son graduates in January. I want to make sure that your children and our grandchildren have options when they leave the school system. Everybody don't want to go to college. I didn't want to go to college. My mama tell you, she signed me into the military. I was 17 years old. My mother signed me over to the United States Army. I could not, I refused to go back to school. I barely got out of high school. You think that I wanted to take some higher learning classes? Not at all. But I had no other option. I was a waitress. My mom was like, well, you're not going to be no waitress once you graduate out of school. You can counsel that. So I had to make a decision, military or college. I wasn't going to college, so I went into the military, okay? So this hits home for me. And then with my son, I sent him to college, and college wasn't for him. And it took me years, and it took me years to forgive him, to get over the fact that he couldn't do it. He wasn't ready to do it. And the thing of that was, reality hit. Every child is not built to go to college, but it doesn't mean that they should fail in life. So this thing is my passion, to make sure that our children do not fail in life. And I'm asking you to allow me to fight for your children. Allow me to fight for the staff. Allow me to fight for the families. Because I promise you, there's some stuff going on that we don't know about. I have been made aware of some things, but there is stuff that you don't know about in the school system because they're not allowed to tell you. They're not allowed to tell you. And I'm not talking about legally or by the charter. I'm talking about by the handlers. Okay? And if anybody is to say anything out of the way about this video here, I promise you, I'll tell everything I know. So call me a liar if you want to, and I'll put it all out on the next show. Because you know I know what I'm talking about. So I'm asking y'all to stop being hoodwinked. I'm asking you guys to please stop being manipulated. And for those of you that keep coming down there asking for that Democratic ballot, listen, you're best to just vote for the issues. You're best to vote for the people that you think will get the job done. I'm telling you right now, because all of this stuff is manipulations. I told y'all before, Google the head to the tail, from the top to the bottom. Everybody should have been Googled, and you should have been Googling until you found something. From the head to the tail. And because I'm not one to put your business in the street unless you push me. I ain't, what Tupac say, ain't no killer, but don't push me. But so what I'm saying is, I'm not going to put your business in the street, but I'm telling you, don't step on my toes. And I don't care whether it's after the election, I don't care win or lose, don't step on my toes, or I'll lay it all out.
And my thing is, the children are our future. And you know, they sing it in the song, the children are our future. And the generation, the way it's heading, our children need training. They need that vocational school. They need them learning. And they need to be able to put wires together, become an electrician. Learn HVAC, learn something that where they finish learning, they can open their own business. They can work for their own selves and not go out and get guns or so forth and so on. They can be proud to say, I am my own business owner. I have employees under me. So that's why I said don't just stick with one group of people, Democrats. So research your people. Research, like she said, look and see if the ones that said they was going to do something, did they do what they said? Did they fulfill the things that they said that they was going to do?
And did they have time to do more? That's my thing. I mean, 4 to 8 years to 12 years you've been on a specific board, and I'm talking about either board, city or school board, city council or school board. You done been on the board long enough to do more than 2, 3, 4 things. You're talking about 4 years. That means you done something, let's just divvy it up once a year. You done been on the board to bring in brilliant ideas, enough time to bring in brilliant ideas, to implement some stuff, to at least bring it up and try to get it implemented, because that's probably what I'll be doing, is trying to get it implemented, because I'm pretty sure that they gonna be fighting me, but that's okay. I'm good for a fight. I'm built for it. Trust me, I am. And so, but you're gonna see me working. You're gonna see me working. I'm gonna be in my own office, my personal office, with stuff laid out. I want to look at how the money is actually being spent, on what, on who, what's necessary, what might not be necessary, where we can cut and add more into the classrooms, where we can cut and add more into the pay. I want to make sure that even at the lowest level, you get enough to survive on. That's what I want to do, and that's what you'll hear me speaking about. The enough to survive. You working a 40-hour job a week and you can't survive. I have a problem with that, because all of your time is going into those 40 hours a week, and then you have to turn around and get a second job. There is something wrong with that picture, and I want to check all of that out. And that's why people don't want me on the board. They don't want me checking nothing out. They want me going with the flow, but I'm not a flow person. I'm a team worker. I'm a team, I worked very good as a team. However, what's right is right. I believe in treating people right. I believe in doing the right things. And I do not believe in lying or manipulating people. I just don't believe in that. That's just not how I was raised.
But Minister Love, I think that was the biggest problem a couple of years ago, because you don't allow people to manipulate you. You don't allow people to tell you what you can and cannot do. And like you said, you're built for a fight, for a good fight. So this run has been very interesting, because when you have people that are crowding you, trying to mess with you mentally, because they know not to touch you physically, not up close. So they try to manipulate your mind, then and you made it this far. That's why there are people that love you, because they know that you're a fighter. And fighters will fight for not just themselves, but they will fight for you. They will fight for your children. See, the thing is, what we fail to realize is, in the city of Portsmouth, we are one of the lowest paid when it comes to our teachers. If you pay people what they're worth, then you don't have to worry about how many it is. Just like our police officers. If you pay people what they're worth, then you'll see other people coming out wanting what they have. And once a person is comfortable doing what they're doing because they're getting paid enough for it, then they will get out and work harder. And you talk about crime and all this other stuff. Hey, pay people what they're worth. You won't have to worry about all that, because they'll get the job done. But who's going to put their life on the line? And even the teachers, who's going to go home tired in the evening and can't afford to buy meals for their family?
And we wonder why the teachers not caring when they teach our kids. And I'm not talking about all of you teachers, but I understand, I get it. It's hard to be caring when you can't afford to take care of your own kids at home and you taking care of somebody else's kids in the school system. I understand, I get it. I'm telling you, I get it. That's why I need for y'all to put me on that school board, because I get it. I understand how it feels to not be able to concentrate, because you go home and you might not even know how you're going to pay your bills. I get it. I get it. But what I don't get is how people sit there stone-faced and don't care. But you won't get that out of me. I promise you that. I shed tears. I'm mean as a Dickens, but I shed tears too. Because I empathize and sympathize at times. So I get it.
But you know what I think is really sad? I'm sorry.
Oh, no.
What I think is, y'all gotta forgive me. I'm old, so when it come up, I gotta let it out. But what I think is really sad, when I start noticing that the women, especially these single parents, I was a single parent. Single parents have to take the money, the little money that they have, the beginning of the school year. Now listen to me. The beginning of the school year, you have to go out. They give you a list of things that you need to purchase to send your children to school with. And I remember a time when we didn't have to worry about none of that. But it's the point I'm trying to make. You got to spend your little bit of money and send all this stuff to school. And those that don't do it, they get to share what the single parents and the rest of you have purchased for your children. But the people over the system, the money they're getting, the raises they're getting, if you didn't give them so much money, the people at the head, y'all know who I'm talking about. If you didn't give them that extra $20,000 or whatever you give them, take that and use that for the schools, so that the parents won't have to spend that kind of money. That's why a lot of children don't have the shoes they need, the clothes they need, because the parents buy toilet paper and tissue and hand sanitizer.
Look, y'all,
this kind of stuff shouldn't be happening.
So trying to run a school board now.
This stuff should not be happening. But I'm just saying, so you got to be picky about who you put in these places. These things should not be going on. And if you got people that think that's okay, they should go out and buy a whole bunch of stuff and just send it to the school, so the parents that don't have no money or have a lack of money won't have to do it. We need to think about what we're doing.
But because I know and because I get it, I'm in with organizations that give to the schools. Okay? The organizations I'm in, we give to the schools. We started off getting the backpacks out there at City Park. We got supplies right now at the Legion, because you do know I'm the commander, first female commander of the American Legion. We in the American Legion do not endorse any candidates. I just want you to know that. I just happen to be the commander of this one. But what it is, we got supplies right now that we're gonna bring mid-school year to make sure that the kids have what they need to finish off school. And we're still collecting. So if you want to donate to our mission of school supplies, you can bring your donation to the American Legion, Post 190 on Peach Street. Okay? Say again, we don't do coats.
For some of the students that may not have, that's all I'm saying.
Well, if you want to bring a new coat for a child, we'll take it to the school with the school supplies, but we don't do coats. We do school supplies. But wherever you might want to donate, we won't turn it away. I don't know, is the auxiliary doing coats?
Yes.
Okay, then we'll give it to our auxiliary and let them take the coats in. So we can do that, okay? But we take care of the kids one way or another. I'm still going to look out for them, okay? What you want to say?
One of the things that I have to
We done
confess,
talked all over you.
it's okay, but I wanted to confess because I did not know that they took teaching cursive out of school. And our children, when they get older, to sign checks and stuff like that, are you expecting our children to sign with an X? Are you just wanting them to scribble, scrabble? I mean, I'm lost on that. Why would they take cursive out of school?
Well, that, of course, that's something that will have to go a little higher than the local school board. But I'm with you on that. Maybe we can eventually fight for that to get back into the school system. But apparently somewhere, some years ago, that was no longer important to whomever. But, you know, it's important to me. So my child was taught, and basically taught himself how to write in cursive. And when I see kids, like when I work at the center and they sign their name and in cursive, I'm just like, I'm proud of you. I'm giving them kudos for taking the opportunity to learn how to write, you know, in that manner, being that they're not taught in school. Okay, but this is what I want to say, and this is what I find important, because you kept saying, don't let parties have you choose the wrong person. Basically, that's what you were saying, because you come down and you ask for certain ballots. Now, the whole time I was out there, the 45 days, I had never heard a person come down there, and then correct me if I'm wrong, no one ever came down there and said, let me get a Republican ballot. I never heard that. I never heard that, which means that the Republicans were doing their research. They was researching each candidate. And if you notice, there's not a lot of Republicans on the ballot at all. So they were doing their research for the best candidate regardless of your party. That's what I got out of that. Regardless of your party, they were doing their research. Now, it was the Democrats coming down asking for the Democratic balance, right? And even, okay, don't you know that we all locally run independent? We all run independent. I do not have to tell you whether I am a Republican or a Democrat when I run a local race, because I run as an independent. Okay, but what I noticed is this. I received love and support from both Democrats and the Republicans. I received votes from both Democrats and the Republicans. I have had people stand up and say, vote for me, vote for Arnette D. Love McSwain, both from Democrats and Republicans. And I declared when I first ran that I was the candidate for all citizens. And I think that with what I have just told you and what have been shown, because if you saw us yesterday out there on that last day of early voting, we had Democrats and Republicans out there passing out my literature. Did we not? Democrats and Republicans were passing out my literature and saying, vote for Arnette D. Love McSwain. I am the candidate for all citizens. I do not believe in being divisive. I cannot take care of our children if I am divisive.
Or misleading.
or
Because
misleading.
they had some people that was being misleading, and that's being honest, because some people was asking for a Democratic ballot, and they
Yeah.
was handing them ballots, and it was Republicans on those ballots, and that's misleading
That's right.
people. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just being honest.
You're telling the truth. But so my whole thing is I'm gonna be truthful and honest, okay? But I want to thank everybody who backed me. I want to thank the Republicans for standing for me, for trusting me, you know, because I know that was a long road. I mean, that was all of 2 years ago that they couldn't stand behind me, and I understand why. But I want to thank you for trusting me, standing for me, and voting for me. And I want to thank the Democrats for trusting me, standing for me, and voting for me. And I promise you, I will treat everybody the same. Everybody's concerns are my business. Your concern is my concern. And I am asking you on Tuesday, you go out there and cast your votes for me, and you can vote up to 4. It doesn't mean you have to vote for 4, up to 4. So if you just want to vote for number 4, that's fine too.
Vote one way.
That's fine too. The other 3 are coming. It's only 5 or 4 seats. The other 3 are coming. But you make sure you get me up there. And I'm going to fight for you. Nobody going to shut me up or shut me down. Trust me. I'm going to fight for you. And I'm going to do it in a professional manner. A professional manner. Okay? So you won't hear me up there cursing and all that stuff. Gotta put my hand in God because I need Him to give me strength. But I'm gonna do it professionally. I'm gonna fight for you though. I won't back down. What you tell me you need, I'm gonna get it to you. And I'm gonna make sure the first point of business is to make sure that you have access to me. Meaning teachers, parents, you can contact me with your issues. Not saying I can get back to all of the parents myself, but we're going to get you some kind of response. And not only that, teachers and staff and of the school board, no repercussions. If that, y'all just don't know how I feel about that. Everybody has a right to voice their concerns. And I pray that we don't find that people are having repercussions because they have concerns. I want you to be bold enough to come to me and tell me what's going on. That's the type of person I am. I need your vote on the 8th. Y'all got all day, 67, to vote for me. Go ahead. Who else want to put something? I think I done said enough.
you said it all.
Because I thank you. I'm thanking you right now, whether win or lose, but I'm claiming victory. But you know, it's God's will, you know. But win or lose, I'm thanking you for standing with me. I appreciate you. Miss Sister So-and-so.
I think we've said it all. I think that all the main points have gotten out. I think that the people understand that they need a challenge. They need to challenge the people that are up for this election. You need to know exactly whom you're voting for. Don't just take it for granted that because somebody said, I endorse them, they're on the ballot, you vote. Don't be foolish enough to listen to that. Please do your homework. Pick people that you know care. Don't give somebody a job that don't deserve it, because nobody will give you one if you don't deserve it. So keep that in mind. The jobs are up for grabs. Put them in the hands of people that really care, that you can depend on. You're the employer. Remember that. You're the employer on the 8th. Employ people that you know is going to do what you want them to do. Don't let the next door neighbor or somebody else tell you whom you need to employ. You do the employing. You go out and do your job.
Mm-hmm.
So we just want to tell you thank you in advance.
Thank you.
Thank you in advance for just doing your homework. And regardless of who come or go or win or lose, as long as you do your homework, then you have something to stand on. You have something to stand on if you do your homework.
So we're going to go out We're gonna go out with a song that I like. If I can play it, if we can get it playing now. Let's see it come on. Hold on, we got, you know, when you don't pay for YouTube, you gotta go through the commercials and the ads and stuff. But it's coming, y'all. And I want y'all to come on and dance with me. This is our victory party. Here we go. Y'all heard?